Good morning, everybody. How we all doing out there? If you're here in the stream with me on YouTube, go ahead and drop an emoji either in Discord or here on YouTube. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it all the way to the end of the week. Let's see who's with us here. Oh, we got Mark, we got Discount, we got Shane, Trader Pixie, we got Kim. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, Papa Bull, Boom Cycle. Oh, we got everybody in here. Good morning and happy Friday. No trades for me yet. Was a little bit late to getting started. Was just putting the finishing touches there on the morning memo, which of course goes out every single day, Monday through Friday. So just watching here on the NQ. Drop that down to the 30-second here. Look at that huge spike that we had right at 8 a.m. there. Big old spike of volume. We are just kind of holding this uptrend from overnight, and we are above that level of 933 that we've been tracking here. Originally, I'd wanted to get into a buy here, and I almost did end up buying something, but was right in the memo and didn't have enough time to do everything all at once. Wanted to get a buy up here in this area, but this is looking like a promising short covering day so far. What we're going to have to do is get through this area right here, this big old area that we spent a lot of the time in the trade here yesterday. This is yesterday's trade. Hey, dude, good morning. Optimus Flame, good morning. You guys know the drill. If you're in here right now, please do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure your bell notifications are turned on. Let's see how many people we got in here, how many likes we got. Oh, we got 20 and then only 9 likes. I mean, you guys could do better than that. There's 20 of you here. Come on. There we go. There you guys are. Lighten it up. Hey, Ricky, how you doing? So yeah, no trades yet for me. We are getting back into the zone. I would like to see a minor pullback. Here's the NQ that we're watching. Wow, look at this on Bookmap. Look at that spike right at 8 a.m. Beautiful, beautiful spike up. That looks like some stops were getting popped. So let's see if this level of 933 can hold here. Had a really fun day yesterday trading. We traded some options off the open in Clubhouse. And that was a lot of fun. And then we traded, I traded some futures later on in the day. Ended up making about $1,800 there in my XFAs. I post all my results daily on Twitter. You can see down here my socials when it flips. This is our schedule, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. But yeah, you can follow me right there on Twitter and Instagram. I post my results daily and transparently, which not a lot of folks are doing in this industry, unfortunately. There's not a lot of transparency, or it's too bad. You have a lot of folks out there that are unfortunately not posting the results every single day, which means they have something to hide. They're probably not as good of a trader as they want you to believe that they are. So if you're following somebody who thinks that they're a good trader, they're going to be posting the results daily and transparently. So yeah, you can follow me there on my socials down there where I post my results every single day. So like yesterday, had a $5,300 day between trading NQ futures and trading SPY options. We ran a poll. Let's pull up the whole poll here. We ran a poll. Let's load this here. We ran a poll yesterday where we were talking about what did we want to trade today, and it was between options and futures. And right now it's a split decision on what we're going to trade for the open today. So very much a split decision there. So we'll have to see what we're going to trade here off the open. We might not get a trade again this whole stream because the best area to be buying was right here. Let's see if we can get this. Right there in that pocket of liquidity, I would have liked to be buying into those lows there. If we do come back down to the prior hourly high here, this blue line, If we come back down and we encroach into that line, I will be interested in taking a lot long here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, is a pullback into that area, but we just might not get it. Just looking here back at the E signal now, and we just might not get it here. So we're going to stick around here, see if we can put on any trades here in this next hour, and then we're going to do the morning call over in Clubhouse, and then kick off live trading there for the market open. So what's interesting about this area, if we drop this down into a lower time frame, the 5 minute here, you can see it's just been grinding all overnight. And we want to look at an even tighter range of volume here that we want to be encroaching upon. Would be this pocket right here. Right about there. So that would be the area right here that we're looking at. So somewhere between that, it's kind of where we're encroaching now, 43 lows all the way up to the 75 highs. We are kind of reclaiming this this trend line from overnight. But yeah, we got on right when we had that big burst of volume there to the upside. What time frame is your NQ chart? The first one? Are we talking about NinjaTrader, or are we talking about the E signal here? Hey, Dasco, good morning. E-signal, that's, I mean, I'm switching between that. So that one, I have the 5. I'm dropping into the 15 here. So we're looking at, this is the higher time frame, the 15, when we're looking at trading this morning session here. And then if we want to drop it down into the 5, it looks like that. Good morning, Smoof. How we doing this morning? Yeah, so I'm thinking that today could just be a big short covering day, because if we're looking back, we have a lot of ground to cover here in the NQ to the sell side. What's interesting is that if we're looking down here, I'm going to go back to the 15 minute. If we're looking back down in this area right here, we had a big sell-off into this area, and then we just had a lot of solidified buyers show up. It's not a lot of volume, so we haven't really tested those lows and tested that area. So there's a good chance that we might open up and revisit that low area and have a second test at it. But it's also very, very strong in the overnight session here. And it's when you have a day like this where we've sold off tremendously hard, and then we have another session. Well, this was yesterday's session. And then this was the close, basically, of the session here. When you have this much sell-off here, it's pretty usual that you will see a retracement there in the area. So that's what we're kind of seeing now here. We're still in a longer-term downtrend, but today might be positive, recovering slightly from yesterday. Yeah, overall, in the higher time frame, we're definitely still in a very much a downtrend. But on the lower time frame right now, we are producing an uptrend here because we have made some weight here above that lower high. So because you know, this wick of this candle right here, that lower high, we've now broken that to the upside. So we do have a complete change of character here on the 15 minute to the upside. And now we have reclaimed what was the breakdown area yesterday, that 933 level. And so now we're confidently above that. Unfortunately, it's perking up a little bit too much for me to chase here. Like I said right at the top of the call, my area to buy was right around there, and I had just missed it because I was still getting the memo out and sending that out to our publishing partners. So unfortunately, just couldn't get in time. Really would have liked to have been all settled in and ready to go here, but see if we drop it down to the 3 minute here. You can see this is the area right here where I wanted to be a buyer. Probably max would be rated below 30 basically. Now we are making our way higher. So on the lower time frame, I guess if we get a pullback into this area right here, I could be a buyer. But this thing, I mean, it might just not retrace all that much right here. So we're coming up to big whole number here, 950. And we're just smashing right on through that. I'm just watching the book map here. Yeah, with this volume coming in too, you do have a lot of folks that are probably panicking to cover here. And if we're looking back in this area right here, this is where a big zone of liquidity is. I'm just going to extend this box out. Right here, big zone of liquidity that we're now encroaching into. A lot of transactions yesterday in this zone. So I'm looking for pullbacks. I'm looking for any kind of pullback here into this zone. We're also doing a webinar today on order blocks. This is on the 3-minute time frame. This is an order block right here. So I would be looking for this to come back into that zone right there for a pullback. It doesn't look like it's going to. This thing is just off to the races here, going squeeze crazy. Microsoft is perking up, which is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. There was some really interesting news yesterday about their AI Copilot that's coming out. And that is what gave Microsoft a huge boost yesterday. If we're looking at Microsoft's chart here, you can see this is when that Copilot news came out, was right here. So it ripped up on that news, but it couldn't hold it. It broke down this area of the structure right here into the close, but you can see now we're back painting that area of liquidity here. Alrighty, so looking at here. Still just ripping and ripping here. I think this thing can get an extension all the way up here to 75. But we're just not getting the pullbacks. I like to be patient on stuff like this, because if I add it up too high here and then it comes back to the retracement, you know, we lose all of that alpha there, about 15 points of alpha. I'm just going to be trying to be patient to see if it comes back into this order block here. And if it retraces back into that order block, I will be a buyer. Because we did have a temporary breakout above here as well. So that 36 area. Papa Bull says, grabbed a few micros to test the break. Not bad, getting the feet wet. Very nice. How long have you been trading futures there, Papa Bull? For about a year now. Very nice. Have you tried any of these funded companies out, like Top Step or Apex? Big fan of Top Step over here. I've had a really good experience with them. Trading on Apex now. Yeah, I took a $20,000 payout from Apex a few weeks ago. And so I can definitely attest to them actually paying out. So they absolutely do pay out. The only thing I don't like about trading Apex is that trailing drawdown, that intra-position trailing drawdown. And I do like to have some trades where I'm holding out for a larger move and maybe it'll go up and it'll spike up. And that retracement is kind of what kills you on Apex. And it just forces you to be a little bit more scalpy. And so for me personally and for my trading style, I prefer using Top Step now. And I've had a really good experience with them. I'm trying to get, I'm trading 3 XFAs right now. Those are their express funded accounts. And so what I'm trying to do is build up a pretty decent sized balance across all 3 of those. And I want to get, pull out a really large payout. That's my goal. I think their largest single payout is just a touch over $100,000. So that's kind of the goal to beat right now when we're trading Top Step accounts. So again, we're waiting for this pullback here in the 3-minute. Let's see what the 5-minute, if we have an order block in the 5-minute at all. Not really. I mean, it's still kind of the same thing. But yeah, perhaps even a pullback to this trend line that could offer an opportunity for an entry. But you can see here, this block up here, let me see if I can change the color of this. This is our liquidity zone here. What color can we make this? It's like a friendly color. There we go. So that's our liquidity zone up here that we're now in right now. That goes back to yesterday. So a big area of liquidity. This right here is our order block that's on the 3-minute. And we're looking to get that encroachment back into that order block. So pull back down to somewhere just a touch below 40 would be great. So either a pullback down there into the 40s or somewhere into this trend line here. And we might not see it. It might just continue to surge here, and that's okay. If we end up surging and missing a trade, I'd feel better about not taking the trade versus trying to chase after a trade, because that's just the style that I'm used to trading. So we got 30 of you folks in here. Very nice. Make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the stream. As always, it's very appreciated. Lets the YouTube algorithm know that you are enjoying what we're doing here. We watching this area now for pullbacks. Papa Bull says the strongest trail to profitability is definitely patience. Yeah. Yeah, if you're in a rush to get paid out, you're going to have a tough time. If you're always focused on rushing things, you know, as a trader, you're going to get blown out so quickly. Suggestion on pullback entry for ES. Let's see. Let's bring up the ES chart here. So I would say for the ES there, same kind of thing. I mean, if it's a little bit higher risk here, but somewhere in that zone, pulling back to between 84 and 85 and 3/4. It's a higher risk zone. I mean, safely, you'd want to look to see how it's interacting right around here, between 82 and 84. But yeah, NQ is just off to the races here. It's a shame that we had to end up fumbling around with the memo there. Really is a shame, unfortunately. Because like I said, would have loved to be a buyer right in that area, and being late to the stream, we ended up missing that just by a touch there. But yeah, this is ripping to the top side here. Really, really nice trade for those of you that are riding this to the top side. Papa Bull says, day one me would chase it hard, then blow the account. Glad I found your stream. Well, we're happy to have you here. Dude says suggestion. Yeah, we answered that one already. Did that make sense for you there, dude? For the suggestion on the ES pullback there? I just don't think we're going to get many pullbacks here, because this thing is just ripping through the zone of liquidity here. Just going straight to the top side. So I don't know that we are going to actually get on a trade here. Trader Pixie says, I have a 14.914 and a quarter entry. Wow. Really nice entry there. Looks like, yeah, right around there in that area. So I hope that you guys are seeing, as the trade is unfolding here, I would encourage you folks to do the same with your charts. Be very interactive with your charts, and don't be shy to be drawing on your charts in real time. Boom Cyclast, we have levels for ES and NQ. I don't see them for these levels. So we're going to have updated levels on Monday, simply because we haven't contracted enough liquidity in these zones here. What you don't want to do is be foolish and start to use prior contracts pricing. You can use the SPY levels that we have. You can use the triple Qs levels that we have, but you don't want to use the NQ and ES contracts from September. Because if you're using those expiries, we haven't contracted the liquidity in the same area, and it's completely different. So don't be fooled by that. So if you're looking back at, for instance, what the trade was back in August, you're running a fool's errand there. It's not going to give you any kind of real data to go off of. You can adjust it, but again, that's a whole different calculation you don't want to go through. It's just better to wait until we have actual liquidity that's been contracted in these areas, or using the levels that we have on something like SPY or SPX even, NDX, triple Qs. Definitely, but don't be using September's levels. So yeah, we are ripping to the top side here. Looks like Trader Pixie's up 50 handles there. Wow, what a move. So yeah, we're going to be sitting here and waiting to see if there are any pullbacks. This is why it's important too to be watching around key areas. So right here at the 8 a.m. hour, I know it says 7 o'clock here on my chart, but it's the 8 a.m. hour. This is off by 1 hour. So at the 8 a.m. hour, this is where we had all of this liquidity right here, all of this volume. I mean, big burst of volume there. We saw all those stops being popped, and now we're just squeezing like crazy. You want to be watching at the top and bottom of the hours. Especially, I mean, the best time to trade is right when we start the stream for futures until about, I'd say 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then we start to get into the lunch hour, New York lunch hour. And then after that, the final hour of trade is always a pretty good time to be trading there. But 8 a.m., really good time to be trading. If you find yourself kind of chopping around in the Globex session and not having a lot of success doing that, you're just better off waiting for these times when there's a lot more liquidity being offered, there's a lot more volatility, and the trade isn't as thin. I mean, this is, if we're going back in the chart here, this is on the 3-minute. I mean, look at how grindy that is. It's up and down and grinding, and it's on lower volume. You can see here, this is yesterday's close of day volume here, and you can see how low the volume is right there. So no news caused that. No, this is just a squeeze here, Trader Pixie. Yeah, this is just a squeeze, and this is when there's a lot more people that are awake and trading, and we're getting a lot of those stops there getting popped. You had a lot of resting buy stops from yesterday around in this area, and it's no surprise to me that the squeeze kicked off right there in that area, and that's kind of why we have that order block that's formed there. It's because we have strong buyers in that zone. We're waiting for it to come back down and revisit that area, but it just looks to me like this is going to continue to squeeze here. And I don't want to be purchasing anything unless we have a pullback, but it just doesn't look like we're going to get that pullback, unfortunately. But again, that's okay. It's much better to be patient and waiting. Great thing about the market is it's open all the time, except for Saturdays. If you're trading small caps and large caps, if you've never traded, or even options, if you've never traded futures before, futures are a product that trade 23 hours a day, including Sundays. Well, Sunday it opens at 6 p.m. Technically, that's Monday's session, Monday Globex. But that opens New York time, 6 p.m. on Sunday. And basically, there's only 1 hour break every single day. And that's from 5 p.m. until 6 p.m. And then it's open for the duration of the week. This platform's eSignal. Yeah, I do not recommend charting on eSignal. It's wildly expensive. It's completely overpriced. I've just been using it now for years and years and years. I recommend instead using TradingView. TradingView is way cheaper. It's I think you can get a deal on it right now. It's $240 for the year for the highest tier. If you're playing with the middle tier, I think it's $140, and it's way cheaper. It's just way cheaper, and the data is a lot less expensive as well. I got into trading using TradingView, pretty solid charting platform. They've only improved too. I didn't like them 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I didn't think they were that great, but they've been improving so much, and their desktop application's amazing. The fact that you can trade on their platform, their mobile application, everything is really, really great with TradingView now. Trader Pixie says, I just started using them and I love it. Nice. Dude says, I'm going to record you talking about not chasing and play it in the background throughout the day. Yeah, whatever helps. The live streams are always archived, so you can always come back to the YouTube channel, which, by the way, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and you have your notifications turned on. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subs here in the Market Clubhouse YouTube channel. So anything that you guys could do, really appreciate that if you guys are subscribing and enjoying the stream here. And we're going to keep streaming next week as well, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. So, and if you miss the stream, you can always come back and watch the archive. And if you're enjoying it, leave a comment on the archive and interact with it there. That'll also let the YouTube algorithm know that you're enjoying what we're doing here. So I'm going to go into the 15 minutes, see if we see anything here. We're getting that first small pullback. So we do have retail sales that are coming out in about 10 seconds here. I don't think it's going to move the market all that much. It's Canadian retail sales. So not going to be moving the US markets all that much here. Unless it's some kind of wild and extreme print, which I really, really doubt. So ex-auto sales are 0.5% higher. Retail sales for July are 10 basis points lower at 0.3% with a 0.4% expectation. So we're getting a little pullback here, but not all that much. Still very, very strong. A really good chance here that we can just blow right back up to 15,000 here to the top side. Really good chance of that here. You can see we are getting to the top of that liquidity zone as well. We didn't quite make it all the way to the top side there. I'm tracking based upon that wick right there. So we didn't quite make it all the way to the tippy top of that zone, but a strong bullish uptick here would push us up through that zone, then potentially take us up to that 993.25 level. We do have a small pullback here. I'm going to go back down to 3 minute. Small little pullback here. And still very, very strong. I will take a lot long here. Go over to the Ninja Trader. I'm just going to take one lot long, putting my risk here to the bottom of that candle. Because that was a little bit of a pullback there. And we'll see if we can just continue this surge up and out. What we're looking for is through this liquidity zone right here. Up and out of that liquidity zone. So keeping it small, just trading one lot here. And we do want to see a confident break above into the 80s. That's what we'd be looking for on this trade here. And like I said, we do have our stop in place. If we get stopped out, we are risking $140 on this trade. And if we get stopped out here, we probably will look for a setup after that. Right now it's getting capped off at that 72 level. And let's see if we show any kind of strength in this pullback here. We're obviously at the top of this liquidity zone right here. So that's a little bit concerning, but we're looking for the breakout of that liquidity zone. That's the idea with our trade here. Okay, stopped out. Now we're looking for that clean pullback. So let's see if we can actually get that clean pullback here to our zone right here. That area right here is where we're looking for a pullback to. So just watching this pullback here. Papa Bull says, I really like smart money concepts similar to order blocks, but doesn't paint as much. Very nice. Who makes that indicator? Oh, TradingView. Wow. That's actually baked in. That's nice that they've made an indicator for that. So watching here, we almost actually came right out of that zone right there when we're looking for the breakout of that zone. And now we are watching this pullback here. If we drop it down even into the 1 minute, you can see this area as well is of interest here. So if we make our way down towards that area, would be interested in picking up a buy there. We're having a pullback right now in Apple, in Microsoft. That's pretty much it. I'm watching the book map here too. If we are going to reclaim this liquidity at 62.5, definitely would want to take another shot at this. So watching this pull down. Watching this area right now, showing some strength. Watching this pullback here for potential entry. Volume is drying up a little bit here. I think a lot of folks might be waiting for that 9 a.m. hour. It's usually when we see an uptick in volume as well. You can see down here, volume is descending. You want to see a volume on pullbacks and where the price is solidifying. So if it comes back down right here and it starts to solidify and we start to see an uptick in volume, that's generally a good area to have an entry for a rebuy to the long side here. But as it stands right now, volume is still pretty light. So let's see if we can get back down into this zone here. Right around there. See if we can get a pullback into that area. So originally we tried to play the breakout there to the top side outside of this area. So I'm watching for volume to come in here. Seeing some larger orders getting stacked up here on the ask in the NQ. Take a look at the E-mini here. E-mini had that big pop right at 8, and now that pullback. All right, we are encroaching that zone now. So let's see if we could be patient here. Watching volume. So volume is increasing a little bit here. This is the 1 minute right here. So watching this coming down. Go to 3 minute here. Again, we're watching for volume to show up here on these pullbacks. Going back to the 1 minute. And like I said, you know, we might be sort of consolidating here until 9 a.m. Because like we had that huge burst of volume that came in right here. This is at 8 a.m. Oh, there we go. We touched that zone of liquidity and we're bouncing right out of it. All right. We'll take a long there and we'll keep it very tight risk. Very, very tight risk. So right there's our trade that we have on. Very, very tight risk. On that pop back up. And we're looking, because we encroached into that zone that we were watching, that order block there. It's the first time that order block's been mitigated. And we would expect to see more buyers in that area, as we saw right here. We had a pullback right in this area. Buyers showed up, and the same thing encroaching into that order block. And we're going to see if that can hold up strong. And I would want to likely add, if we can have more volume show up and strength into this area here. So let's see, pulling back. My average right now is 958 3/4. Watching here. Watching as it's encroaching upon this zone. And again, it could be very sideways and solid consolidation here until we end up getting that 9 a.m. hour rolling around. We want to be cognizant of that because going to be wrapping up the stream here in about 20 minutes. So hopefully we will have some buyers stepping in here within the next 20 minutes, and then we can buy into that strength and then look for an exit probably in the zone right around 65 to 68, somewhere in that zone there. So that's the idea that we have for this trade. Any kind of pullback to the mid 50s, want to be a buyer of. This is breaking out to the top side here. Definitely want to be adding a lot. Does look like it's holding here. Lower volume though, again, makes it difficult to trade. You can also see when it's piercing. Oh, this is gonna be an ugly, an ugly trend line here. Guess we could track on that. Really kind of a meaningless trend line, but at least give us an idea of what we're trying to see to the top there. John asked what time frame you on. Right now, this is just the 1 minute. You can see right here the 1. We're looking at the 5, and we'll show you a 5 right there. You always want to start with a higher time frame, and then drop it down in the lower time frames when you're looking at mapping out your trades for this. Yeah, we might just end up in this tight zone of consolidation on very, very low volume. Volume is tremendously low here, and that's to be expected. There is usually a time of zombie hour between, I'm going to add a lot there, between now and 9 a.m. So we're hoping that we can get that bullish uptick through 62.5, where there is an order resting there at 62.5. Adding another lot there on that push up. I'm going to drop this back down into the 1 so we can see the trade a little bit better there. So there's that liquidity to the top side, 62.5. If we can pierce through that liquidity to the top side, you can see it right above me here on the book map, and we can actually swipe above that with strength, I would have some confidence in this trade. So we tap that liquidity, we're coming back down. If this is a weak pullback, potentially adding one more lot to the trade here. So a bit of a pullback here. We did go right for that liquidity at 62.5. I do want to see strength above that level. And we might not be able to get it because it's a lot of contracts up above that level. We're looking to swipe about 300 contracts above that. So unfortunately, we might not have the liquidity to get there right now. As I said, kind of zombie hour here for the next 15 minutes. Watching here on this pullback. Adding one more there. Looking for the swipe up through 61 now. We can even drop this down into the 30-second if we wanted to. We're going to get really, really detailed in this. I think eSignal even has down to a 10-second chart here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can even get really granular with eSignal. I think there's a 10-second chart on TradingView, if I'm not mistaken. You can get pretty granular with TradingView as well. Like I said, it's an amazing platform now. It didn't used to be as good as it is now. I highly, highly recommend TradingView now. We'll go back to a normal time frame here. Go back to the 1 minute. TradingView goes down to 1 second. Very nice. Yeah, that's practically what you're going to see up there in Bookmap. That's basically, that's tick by tick, obviously, but that's as granular as it's going to get. That's print by print, tick by tick. So we're looking through strength here above 62.5. I'm going to put covering half the position here at, where's that liquidity? 65.50. So going to cover half the position at 64.25. Looking for this push up. We might have resistance again at 62.5, however. And just because the liquidity isn't showing up there in Bookmap doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. People can have hidden orders up there. All right, we're pushing right up through. So again, we're looking for a fill there, 64.25. And that pull down was on very, very low volume there. Seeing if it solidifies here at the bid, at this 58.25. Pretty close to our stop here. And we might get swept down here and it might just hit our stop on that pull down. So let's see. We're very close to the stop. If this solidifies up, I would actually add into this since we are so close to the stop. Doesn't really add much risk to the position. But I do want to see strength here before I add. And then happy to be stopped out if that's the case. We are a tick away from being stopped out here. Oh, sorry. It's not even showing on the screen. We're a tick away from being stopped out right there. There we go. Got our stop filled right there. So we stopped out there. Forgot you guys are looking at the eSignal screen here. So we are in a little bit of a pullback here. We have made a lower high here, right there. I might have had my stop just a little bit too tight because this is the same area, the same order block that we're looking at right here, where it is a decent spot to be a buyer. But let's see. We have 10 minutes left in the stream, so we might not even take another trade. But if this does show some strength here, I might want to take this back for one more try long, but let's see what happens. We did almost tag our fill there too at the top side where we're trying to cover half the position. I think we're a few ticks away from getting that filled. And again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please make sure that you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you are subscribed. JC says, nice to see your transparency. Absolutely. Yeah, if we look at where we are right now, just to give you guys the lay of the land of where we are here. Go back to the Ninja Trader here. There we go. So we're down $537 on the day. That's where we stand right now. And again, we might end up locking up the stream down $537. The thing about the markets is that you cannot force your hand on the markets if the trade doesn't set up exactly what you want it to. You don't want to get frustrated. You don't want to try to barrel in and go crazy with the trade and trade outside of your means. Instead, stick to your trade plan. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out. You move on to the next trade. If there is one, you're not rushing into the next trade if there is no trade present. In this case, I don't think that we're going to see a decent setup here in the next 10 minutes unless we had the tape really solidifying right here at this zone where we have that box drawn. So if it does solidify there, potentially would like to take a trade. But again, we're working with about 9 more minutes here. So pretty unlikely that we will take a trade. So we might just be ending up our day down $537.90. Yeah, we'd have to see a really nice, the tape really solidify here in order to jump into something. It does look like it's holding at that order block. But yeah, I don't think I'm probably going to take a trade just because we don't have much time. So hopefully next week we'll be doing streams that will go a little bit longer here and we'll have a little bit more time to trade. What would be ideal would be having the stream at least one of these days starting at 9 a.m. instead of starting at 8 a.m. and trading from 9 until about 10:30 where all the action is. It is obviously sometimes difficult to catch trades in this pre-market session. Some days it could be like squeezing water out of a rock. And well, today we had a really nice opportunity, but our timing was off, obviously. We came late to the stream here. Had we been on time to the stream, we could have caught that move. We could have realized all that upside. But unfortunately, we missed it, and that's okay. So we tried to trade off that bounce there. Originally had the right idea, almost got filled on our position there to the top side. And then we had that extreme pullback there, and that's what took us out. So that's probably going to wrap things up for me here because I'm definitely not going to take another trade. Anybody have any questions about the trades that I took here? There's 2 trades that we took for a total loss on the day of $537. And no trades are going to show up here that I'll be able to take in the next 8 or so minutes. So that's definitely going to be my day here. We will continue trading on into the Clubhouse today. We're going to be trading off the open at 9:30. And be trading as long as there's a nice setup, and then potentially trading some futures contracts after we do options off the open. So we're going to do the morning call here in Clubhouse right at 9:05, and then we will move on to doing that live trading session. So again, if you are enjoying, before I go, if you are enjoying what we're doing here, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're just below 600 right now. So anything that you can do in the way of helping, just click that subscribe button. It's free. If you want to trade accounts like the ones I traded this morning, I traded Top Step accounts. If you want to trade Top Step, there's a link in the description down below. You can start for as little as $49. And it's great because when I first started trading futures years and years ago, I had to put up my own capital to trade. And with Top Step, they put up the capital for you so you don't have any risk of that. You pay $49 for an evaluation. And if you can prove that you're a good trader, they give you their funds to trade with, and you don't have to put anything at risk. You might ask, well, Rips, what happens if I lose the money? They give me the money to trade and I lose it. Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. You don't owe anybody anything. You just lose your account and then you get to start the process all over again. You could do this process as many times as you'd like and you never put your own capital at risk. So if you've ever been interested in trading futures, it's a great way to start trading futures. I highly recommend Top Step. Links are in the description down below. Also, there's links for a discount there on Apex. If you like trading Apex accounts, you can trade 20 at once, which is very cool with Top Step. You can trade 3 accounts at once. But personally, for me, I prefer Top Step right now, simply because of the no intraposition trailing drawdown, and the end of day trailing drawdown is much more favorable for my style of trading. All right, folks, gonna lock it up here. As always, I will keep the bookmap stream going. So if you are gonna stick around, you can have this off in another screen. It'll look like this all day long. And if you want to keep that going, I'll have that streaming pretty much all day, so you can have bookmap up in a second monitor and a second screen there for you. So locking it up here, down $537 for the day. First red day on the stream, by the way. We had to have one red day here, right? Yeah, that's going to do our day. That's going to do our Friday. And I will catch you guys over in Clubhouse for the morning call at 9:05. I hope everybody out there has a great weekend ahead, and I will see you guys back here on YouTube on Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern. All right, folks, take care.